Well, I have high noon, and I am going to go ahead and begin because I'm so excited to be able to share this information. So, I am Dr. Ann. I likely know most all of you on here from my previous work. Welcome to everybody. I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful for your attention because I get to share a program that is um, very uniquely and very profoundly near and dear to my heart, and that is my Zoom to Health program. So, Zoom to Health is a program that I um, offer once a year. This will be the fourth year that I have done this. That attempts, I would say, I go beyond saying attempt. I say that is designed to encompass everyone's pain points. People come to see me and seek my guidance for all sorts of different things, as you can imagine. And I had this sort of um, professional dream to be able to create a program that encompassed everyone's needs and pain points, meaning it had to be very, very comprehensive. It had to address every one of the fundamental pillars of healthy living, of which there are five. I wanted it to be incredibly engaging. I wanted it to be totally cutting edge. I wanted it to be based on the latest, greatest state of the art science. I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be clear, concise. I didn't want anyone to have any questions about anything, having completed the coursework and completed the program. And it took me a while, but I was finally able to do it. So you can think of Zoom to Health in a sense as a culmination of my incredibly devoted commitment to educating people and motivating people about healthy living, how they can learn to live their healthiest life, right? And so, Zoom to Health, in words of people that have taken it and know me, they say, think of Zoom to Health as having special access to my virtual kitchen table where solid science and practical guidance are served in such an inspiring way that healthy living quickly becomes a part of who you are. The other way of saying this is I knew I wanted healthy living to become absolutely irresistible as a result of watching the videos that comprise this program and doing the other things that this program entails. So, to give you a feel for real life pain points and issues that people in the past have pursued Zoom to Health and amongst other courses for in my line of work. So I was thinking these may, make you feel right at home. So why you're here today, and these are straight from my students. I have a hard time cutting back on sugar. I have a serious sweet tooth. I don't have time to prepare healthy meals. I entertain too often and get totally off track. My family doesn't care about healthy eating. It's hard cooking for one. I struggle with overeating. My issue is consistency. I love bread. I'm an emotional eater dealing with a lot of stress. I eat too often to eat healthily. I eat out too often to eat healthily. I'm afraid of losing bone density. I want to feel stronger. I want to reverse my prediabetes. I can't take time for regular exercise. I need ideas for healthy dinners. I sleep terribly. I can't control my appetite. I want to be sure I'm eating enough protein. I don't feel motivated often enough to be healthy all the time. I feel too busy to prioritize healthy eating. I love my wine. I'm worried about dementia. I want to keep my memory intact. It's hard living with back and hip pain. Keeping weight off has been a lifelong battle. I'm a cancer survivor and I want to live as healthy as possible. So I hope that gives you a little bit of depth and breadth of the type of things I was trying to address in creating this very comprehensive world-class program. And I want everyone to know about the hope ahead. The hope ahead. No matter where you are in your journey with your health, no matter what your age, we know, we absolutely know it is never too late and no one is ever too far gone. I have been personal witness many times to people that have literally, that I have watched just simply based on the guidance I have given them, bring themselves back to life from, being near the brink of death. So please know, no matter how long you may have been at bad habits or what your age, or just again, just how off track you feel, there is always hope, and there is immense hope. And in that light, just imagine life, because I know this is what this program can do if you take it to mind and heart and action, without feeling frustrated about your weight, with freedom around food, such a big one, with enhanced stress resiliency, dramatic, with less pain, with less medications, sometimes off all medications, with more energy, with the authentic motivation to make the healthy choice, with more overall confidence, with you in control of your health. Just imagine life knowing exactly how to prepare healthy, delicious, great for you meals, knowing you are healing your body with every bite, knowing how to eat for pleasure, abundance, and health, knowing the foods you eat are actively protecting your heart and brain, knowing you're setting a great example for those around you, very, very important. Just imagine life knowing you're practicing the very best and latest scientifically validated strategies for healthy living, knowing you're living the rest of your years with the freedom to focus on what matters to you because you have your health. And lastly, knowing you're living out your purpose at the highest level. And don't take it from me, take it from some of my real students, the ones that were brave enough to share a picture. Evelyn says, those 3 courses were so impactful. I ended up losing 25 pounds and I sleep better than I have in years. There are so many nuggets of information that are meaningful and important. Dr. Rand talks about the most recent information. However you're feeling, you come out of the Zoom sessions feeling so much better. From Susan, Dr. Ann, all is going well. I've learned so much from your online classes. I try to implement something new with every class, and I certainly learn something new with each one. Thank you. I spread the word wherever I go. People are always asking me how I stay so trim. Sometimes I think they're disappointed I'm not on some strict dieting regimen. They are thrown off when I tell them I'm eating and living healthy. Thank you for changing my life. And Cindy and Randy, thank you for changing and possibly saving my and my husband's lives. Your knowledge of and passion for nutrition is so inspiring. It feels great to be down 45 pounds, but I'm not stopping there. My husband is down 27 pounds. Thank you again for sharing your amazing information. And as coincidence would have it, just yesterday, I had a Zoom conference call with the director of cardiac rehab of a very large Midwestern hospital system. I think they have like 27 facilities. And they use the cardiac rehab in these 27 places uses my Eat Right for Life program for their cardiac rehab patients. And that's how Cindy and Randy know about me. And when I was talking to that director yesterday, I said, oh, I know you know Cindy and Randy. They said, oh, yeah. And that phone call yesterday happened to be the reason we were having it is somehow my Eat Right for Life program made its way into the endocrinology clinic. So this would be the clinic in their health system that sees all the diabetics and pre-diabetics. And so the head endocrinologist was on that Zoom call and her eyes were spinning. She was so excited to try to bring that program in for their diabetics and their pre-diabetics. So I'm just so grateful for, and that's always, as a clinician, a physician, that's always perhaps the strongest affirmation I can get for the validity and quality of my work is when medical centers are using it for their patients. And for Paul, Dr. Rand, thank you for changing my life. I realize now that your typical count your calories diet does not work. I came across your courses and they put my scientific brain to use. You helped me understand that what we put in our bodies makes a difference in our health. I'm currently off all my medication that I took for arthritis, inflammation, and high blood pressure, as well as I'm down 41 pounds. Thank you for your life-changing encouragement. All right, so who is this program for? So Zoom to Health is for the person who values personal growth and development, because we are all about change and ultimately big changes over time. Baby steps, we're all about it. But when you add them up over time, it can make a massive difference. We want people who are truly hungry for better health. Very, very important characteristic. I need that desire, right? We want people that believe that positive change is possible with the right mindset. We want people who believe that aging does not have to entail any of the stereotypical negative traits that you hear about. We want people that are willing to unlearn health trends that have caused so much confusion. We want people willing to try new foods, new recipes. We want people that enjoy, love connecting with like-minded people. And we especially want people that want the accountability and the encouragement, because in this program, I become sort of your personal cheerleader. Okay. And here are a couple of wonderful quotes that really speak to what in a way is at the heart of behavior change, and that is your identity. If you don't know it, the single greatest impediment to behavior change, and again, this program is all about getting people to change their behavior, right? That is what the healthy living journey, making health improvements entails, getting you to change the way you're doing things in terms of your diet and your lifestyle. And the single greatest impediment to healthy behavior change is that the person currently has an identity that doesn't fit with what they're trying to do. For example, someone truly in their heart of hearts identifies themselves, just in their own minds as someone that's a really, really unhealthy eater. For that person, it's extremely difficult to start eating healthy foods, believe it or not. So we are ultimately in this work trying to change your identity to one that is like a super healthy, like me. Like I identify as someone that is obsessional with healthy living, right? It's just who I am, and I've always been that way. So your identity emerges out of your habits. So every action you take, every bite of food you put in your mouth, every action you otherwise take with your lifestyle is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Okay. And if you're not familiar with James Clear's work, he is one of the world's most esteemed behavior change experts. We have amazing science surrounding what works and what doesn't when it comes to getting people to change their habits. And that book, Atomic Habits, is an incredible book. Another quote from James: one of the most effective things you can do to build better habits is to join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. And so that is one thing that links us in our Zoom to Health. The students that are taking this course are obviously clearly committed to improving their health, clearly committed to the journey. And that when we feel a part of something, it makes changing our ways much, much easier. So who is Zoom to Health not for? So Zoom to Health is not for you if you're looking for one-on-one coaching. I do that. It's not a big part of what I do because I can't change the world doing that. And I'm someone that's highly ambitious. I've always wanted to make a really big mark, or at least as big as I feel like my heart and soul can make. And my private consultations, the initial consultation is $700. And I share that just to give you a little feel for the value of this program. Zoom to Health is not for you if you're looking for a rigid, kind of dogmatic diet to follow. Everyone is welcome here. You're going to learn, and this is such an important point on the nutrition front, that the roadway to optimal health through nutrition, thankfully, is very broad and can accommodate a broad range of eating styles. You can be vegan. We've had people become vegan in the year of the journey with me. You can be vegan, you can be vegetarian, you can be paleo, you can be gluten-free, you can be an omnivore, you can be a flexitarian, a pescatarian, you could even be keto if you really knew what you were doing, at least for a short, some period of time. So point there is, you're going to learn that for those that take part in the program, that they're really just a small handful of dietary strategies that you must adhere to. And beyond that, the details and the nuances of eating sort of this style or that style, really, that's just up to you. That's kind of personal preference. Okay. All right. Zoom to Health is not for you if you're looking for a get healthy or skinny fast plan, because we know without a shadow of a doubt, based on rock solid science, that will never work. It will never work. In order to achieve optimal health, it requires permanent, not temporary changes. It requires permanent changes in the way that you eat and you live. And these get healthy or skinny fast programs usually are demanding that people make changes that are so almost monumental, they're not sustainable, right? Right? Anyway, so this is for people that know it's a journey and that are happy to take that journey at a pace that works for them, and in people that know the science that dictates that slow and steady will always win the race. Zoom to Health is not for you if you have a fixed mindset. So that's the opposite of this sort of growth mindset, meaning you don't have any authentic desire to really even begin the journey. Okay, so hopefully if there are any on here that may fall into some of that, I hope by the time I'm done giving this informational session about what this program entails, that I have moved you perhaps to beyond some of these things, right? Okay, so how does Zoom to Health work? I've already mentioned that it is a year-long program, and at the core of the educational portion of the program are, my very best, beautifully produced, e-courses, right? So I started out my career, I'll talk about a little bit of that later, speaking to people, right? Speaking on a stage. There's nothing that makes me feel more alive than having a group of live people in front of me on a stage, and I'm teaching them about healthy living. And one thing wonderful about modern day digital technology and videos is we can now capture that, right? So before we had that ability, I was writing books. I can help a lot of people if there are a lot of people in the crowd, and I can write books and we can distribute those all over the place. But the books, as great as they are and as well as they did and do, they're still not as good as like really letting me be right in front of that person, let them see me with my voice and my intonations and my body language, guiding them what to do along with my slides, right? So there's a whole series of master classes that are a part of this program that we very slowly drip out, so everyone stays on the same page, right? So I give you a few modules every couple of weeks. Your job is to kind of watch those, and we begin with the master classes devoted to healthy eating, because healthy eating is the most foundational of all the 5 pillars. Okay. All right. So we begin with that. We actually spend most of our time, if you compare how much time is devoted to the healthy eating part relative to the other pillars, because this encompasses more information, because this is by far the leading driver of our epidemic of chronic disease and premature death, right? You should know that diet is the leading cause of death in America. It's now the leading cause of death worldwide, but we have been leading the charge on that now for over a decade, right? And we have more people dying year after year after year from poor diet than we did with COVID. And that's been happening for years, and it happens every year. And that's just because people don't know what to do, or they're just a victim to our really, really toxic food environments. So there are 3 master classes that make up the healthy eating portion. The 3-step solution. This is my latest e-course on healthy eating. And what I did with this is, okay, I am someone that loves to simplify inflammation. How can I make healthy eating as simple as possible? And I love this program because I was able to really do it in 3 steps. And what the other unique thing about the 3-step solution is, not only does it address the right foods and the wrong foods. So you're going to learn these are the good ones, these are the ones you can't do in these 3 steps. It also addresses the timing of when you eat, which is very important. We know the timing of when you eat is as important as what you eat, right? And then we have my signature program, Eat Right for Life. That is the program that pretty much put me on the map with my career. And I have probably delivered that program more than any other on a live stage. I've written 4 books with that as their primary title, and each one's different. They all have subtitles. And that was a best-selling, award-winning series of books. So Eat Right for Life. And that way you're getting the healthy eating education. These 2 are very redundant, as you can imagine, because they're both meant to be standalone courses to guide people in comprehensive about healthy eating. But they're just constructed slightly different. And I know from the work, I've been doing this a long time, and I know what helps people get stuff in their heads. So I purposely wanted to make you go through both. You're going to get some redundancy, but it's going to help you, grasp this, because you have to become fully empowered with the knowledge that no matter what situation you're in around food, you know how to make the healthiest choice. You may not make it, but my job is to make sure that you know exactly what would be the healthiest thing for you to eat, given whatever situation you're in, okay? And then lastly, we have to get your food environment in order. Very important. The single greatest determinant of what you eat moment to moment is dictated by the foods in your immediate midst. So your food environment really, really, really matters. And so the Healthy Kitchen Makeover, in that particular course, I'm joined with my older daughter, Liz. She is a real kitchen guru. And I cover the food part of it, like, okay, we've got to get these foods out and these foods in. And I mean, it's very methodical. You're going to know your kitchen is going to be, you will know completely how to stock your kitchen properly, how to get the wrong foods out and how to bring the right ones in. And you'll even get things like a list of things that you should never run out of. Because if you always have those things, then you can always put together a healthy meal relatively easily and quickly, right? Right. And then Liz covers sort of the kitchen essentials, like, there's some basic equipment you've got to have. I mean, you've got to have a sharp knife. You've got to have a really good, heavy cutting board that you keep out on your counter. Just things that are, because you're going to have to learn to prepare your own food. I can just tell you that, because if you don't, unless you're well off enough, you can hire a personal chef that is totally versed in healthy food prep. You're going to have to make your own food. And so we want it to be easy, and you need to know the equipment that is indispensable. And she also gets into some of the unique things about how to use herbs and spices. My daughters are both better cooks than me. Okay. And then we have the rest of the pillars. All right. So we master healthy eating. And then we continue forward. You must learn to nurture your microbiome. If you don't know it, the ecosystem of microbes that that reside in our guts, that have been with us from the beginning of our existence on planet Earth, really do determine your health. I mean, so your microbiome is the gateway to health and healing. So we must learn to also eat and live in such a way that we are properly nourishing that microbiome, since again, the microbiome is kind of a powerful dictator of your health. Think of the microbes as sort of the master of ceremonies at the cellular level, driving the most important life processes in your body. Okay. Then we must, of course, talk about the indispensable kind of non-negotiable aspect of simply moving your body, the magic of movement. I remain in total awe with what we know about physical activity and health improvement, cognitive, mental, emotional, physical, off the charts. There is actually no singular thing you could do that can move the needle in your health more broadly than simply moving your body more, particularly if you're not moving it much. Okay. I just remain in awe. And there's a reason why I never, and that is true, I never miss a day of exercise. It is the highlight of my day. I can't imagine a day without it. And I have been doing that literally my entire life. And so we talk about movement and all the good things about it and what you got to do. Then we're going to learn to optimize our breathing. Breath is incredibly important. So many people are not breathing properly. It is very simple to learn about proper breathing and all the benefits that will do for your health. That can kind of blow your mind. Most people are completely in the dark about this science. And in addition, there's something very special that I'm also offering. I'm going to wait to talk about that in a little bit. It is related to breathing. And this is something I've never offered as part of Zoom to Health. I'll talk more about that upcoming. And then sleeping better forever. Sleep is the Swiss Army knife for health. A good night's sleep improves every single cell in your body down to your genes and your DNA. On the other side of the coin, poor sleep absolutely turns us into complete wrecks. Wrecks emotionally, wrecks mentally, wrecks cognitively, wrecks metabolically, the list goes, wrecks immune-wise. So you cannot be optimally healthy. You will never be able to control your weight unless we can get your sleep improved and on, normal and good, right? And the great news is this, and this is coming from someone who at various stages of my life had pretty severe sleep issues. We now, there is absolute hope and help for every single person, no matter how severe their insomnia is, because we know the strategies that people need to bring into their life to be able to get quality restorative sleep. And it's amazing how they work. I'm a living testament to that. I wear an Oura ring. I track my sleep very carefully. And I can assure you I'm sleeping better now than I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, like that. Right? So you'll learn everything there is to learn about what you need to do to have better sleep. And of course, this is somewhat related to the healthy eating part, but Lucy's kitchen cheat codes. So my daughter Lucy, that's my youngest of my 4 children, I have 2 daughters and 2 sons, is the culinary whiz. I mean, Liz is pretty amazing too, but Lucy's, she catered her first event when she was 15. And she is a home chef, and she's also a forager and a farmer. But anyway, I tasked Lucy to create recipes that were flexible, affordable, of course, delicious, and very healthy, and that each one had 10 different plant-based foods in it. And remember, a fresh herb can count as a plant-based food, and spices can even count. And every one of the recipes do that. And she named it Lucy's Kitchen Cheat Codes because they're foundational recipes, like the only salad recipe you ever need, the best Sunday night soup recipe, but all of the recipes are like a code, and that, you need where you have lots of flexibility, meaning she's going to say, okay, you're going to start with a base of whole grains, and she makes it really easy and tells you, and we're even on video showing you how to do this stuff. But those recipes are amazing. And I made them all, and you get access to them. And then this is actually a course where we're going through each one of these recipes. I'm talking about why it's so healthy for you, and Lucy's talking about how you put it together and why it's so delicious, and how you can like change it up any way you want. Okay. All right. And then of course everyone needs information, not just in video format. And by the way, many people, and I do this a lot with courses I take, because I take courses too. It's always great to hear and watch, but you can always just listen too, right? Or listen over and over and over. And I always have people tell me, the people that really have the most sensational behavior change, they will, and I see this in my own work in pursuing the courses I'm learning stuff about. The more I listen, the more I listen, the more I listen, the more I watch over and over and over. The easier it is to incorporate the changes into my life, because you just learn to know it, and you're so motivated usually by the person teaching it. Anyway, so I also am a real stickler for making sure with each of my, whatever I'm teaching in the video, you're going to get right there with it detailed notes. So I've taken all the notes for you, all right, detailed notes. There's always going to be detailed plans of action. So at the end of my handouts, once I've told you what to do and why to do it, right, which is kind of how I'm teaching you in the videos. At the end of those, I always give you a very concise, very clear plan of action, right? We have the recipes, we have meal plans, we have all kind of great cheat sheets. I have even keep some of these cheat sheets in my own fridge. We have grocery shopping guides. We also have the kitchen makeover as a written guide. You can watch it, but you can also read it, right? We have it like that. That's just an example of one of the Lucy's recipes, the Sunday night soup. And this is also something new I've never done in Zoom to Health in the past. It's like, duh, why didn't I think of it sooner? So I've always, with Zoom to Health, of course, had these regular Zoom sessions. That's the whole point of this. It's a very, very personal program. I'm like personally in real time engaging with my students, right? Regularly throughout the year. And I usually just did the Zoom sessions like right here where I am right now, which is sort of my, main home computer, main office computer. And I thought to myself, and the funny thing is, I used to constantly run into my kitchen to come back, like go get them something and come back and show them. And I was like, it hit me. I was like, I'm just going to do the Zoom to Health in the kitchen. So, I'm very, very comfortable in my kitchen. I'm probably more comfortable there than any other room in my house. And so that's where our live sessions will always take place. And the purpose of my live sessions is always inspiring you, motivating you, kind of holding you accountable, engaging with you. Not only what are your questions, what are your comments, or share something great that happened to you this week. And this, this is the group is all taking part in this. But this way, if I do them in the kitchen, I can also just show you all kind of things, hands-on in my kitchen, which I'm really excited about. So these Zoom sessions, I consider them the sort of heart and soul of the program. These coaching sessions are the essence of Zoom to Health, and a feature my students rave about. Consistently connecting with me and a group of like-minded individuals is at the heart of grounding your commitment to the journey. Get ready to experience learning, inspiration, and motivation like never before. So I will tell you that when I complete a Zoom to Health class, I always offer, re-enrollment. And invariably, and again, I'm getting ready to embark on my 4th year doing this, we have about 35% of students that re-enroll, and they already have access to all the courses. So they're not, and so the only thing new is they just want that continued regular live interaction with me. And so I hope that, gives you a clear view of how special my students think those sessions are. So we'll do coaching. Again, I'm always there. I want to clear up any confusion. I hate it when people are confused. And people will send me things like, okay, here, pictures of labels and like, this is what I'm choosing for this. How is this? I can tell you anything you need. So Q&A. And then another thing that I'm adding that I've never had before in Zoom to Health is guided breathwork sessions, group guided breathwork sessions. So sort of the last frontier for me to explore and conquer in the wonderful world of wellness was the power of breath. And I embarked on that journey a few years ago. And so that for me, this is all a real personal thing to start, right? So I'm always going to, before I'm ever going to feel confident enough to teach within a given subject matter, I'm going to have deeply embedded myself in it and be someone that's totally committed to practicing that, right? That's just how I roll. And I have been doing daily breath work for years now, and I cannot tell you how transformational it has been for me, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, cognitively. It's hard to even just put it in words. And, our breath is something that is literally right under our noses. And it is a tool that you can use to self-create miracles every day of your life if you want to. I cannot stress enough, not only the importance of just proper breathing, which, that's super important, but it's kind of the boring part. These actual breathing techniques that, those will be illustrated in the videos, but back to this. So I recently completed my own being instructed by a world-class master and being able to facilitate my own breathwork sessions with people. And again, I was motivated to do that because I'm like, this has changed my life so much. I want to be able to share it with other people. Okay. And it's pretty darn easy. All right. In fact, sort of the day-to-day session, and I'm going to adopt I love the term that my master breath instructor uses and taught us is the 5-minute joy jolt. It's a 5-minute breathing exercise. Again, you're just committing 5 minutes a day. And it is just amazing how it can just set your day off on just such an extraordinary note. Anyway, and what I'm going to do with the breathwork sessions is I'll be offering them in addition to my live kitchen sessions. The breathwork sessions are going to be monthly, and everyone will be in a group. And I'm just going to give basic instruction, and then ideally people will have their computer set up that I can even watch. That's the ideal. Watch how they're breathing, so I can give some pointers as I'm seeing. So because with the breath technique that we'll be using, it's all about taking full, free flowing breaths at a little bit faster rate than you normally breathe, and you do this continually for 5 minutes, and then you hold and you launch, and it's just like, you're kind of high on your own supply of stuff. I don't know how to describe it to you. It's the closest I have ever reached the peace that surpasses understanding. I had one time where I was doing it with my particular instructor for a very long session, which these things can go an hour. And if someone told me I was dying right then and there, I would have been totally fine with it. Completely fine. In fact, I was furious that I had to kind of come back. So it can be just that exquisite and divine. So, and I think people need to know, breath is spirit. We become alive with that first breath of life, and we die with our last. And the etymology of the word breath is spirit. So breath is spirit, and you have control of it. Breath is life. Breath is you. We are not our bodies. We are not our minds, because if we were, we could not be conscious of them. You can't be conscious of something that you actually are, right? So we are these energy, spiritual beings that are in a body, that are living in a body that has a mind, right? We are not our minds. We are not our bodies. They are housing us, and they are a part of us, but that is not at our true self is spirit energy. Okay. And with your breath, you can learn to bring in more life. That's what your breath is doing. Proper breathing, and done with in the way that I will teach, is you are literally bringing more life force into yourself. Right. And at its core, it's got profound physical benefits. It's got mental benefits, emotional benefits, but at its core, it is a spiritual practice. And the live kitchen Zoom sessions, of course, we love it when people submit their questions ahead of time, because I can just get ready for them, and it's more efficient. So I always start with the questions that people submit to me, and then we open it up, and people can ask anything they want. And we find that people learn so much from their peers' questions. All the live in the kitchen sessions are recorded and made available. Never do we have everyone that's enrolled at a live session. Never. I say we average about 40% of the people can make it. And we're doing the live in the kitchen sessions every other Tuesday, alternating between noon and 5:15. I work hard to try to accommodate, and I've taken votes every year. I've done this, and it always falls out that some it's better at noon, and some it's better at 5:15, and some it doesn't matter. And so this seems to be sort of the sweet spot in accommodating the most people. This is the schedule. The kickoff to Zoom to Health begins September 24th at noon. And then these live kitchen sessions, again, are going to be every other week. So it's every 2 weeks. They're always fall on a Tuesday, and we alternate noon to 5:15. Occasionally, life is real, even for Dr. Ann. In fact, it's very real for Dr. Ann. I'm from a huge family. I have a 90-year-old mother that lives next door. I have 4 children. I now have 3 grandchildren. I have 5 siblings. Most of them live very close to me. So I have a pretty busy life, and there are occasionally times that something has come up and I cannot meet. And we do our best to let you know about that ahead of time. I can't recall a time that we didn't have enough time to let people know ahead of time. And we usually reschedule those for the most part. And so that is just something you probably could imagine over a year that would probably happen. All right, so that's the information, what the course entails. And again, it is a year-long program. And what about the investment? So some very important points here. And I don't know why more people don't think about this first point, that the value of your health is truly priceless. And I'm going to tell you why. And that is because your health, or lack thereof, transcends every second of your life. It is influencing, flavoring, sometimes dictating everything that has happened to you. It's all influential. How are you feeling in the moment? What is your mood in the moment? What is your cognitive status in the moment? What is your energy in the moment? It's all powerful. It's always operational. And you need to know that. You need to know that. And it just gives you so much motivation and power to realize that anytime you can improve your health, everything in your life is going to improve because it transcends every moment of your life. Okay? The other thing you need to know is that anytime you invest cost-wise in your health, the return on that investment is almost always, it's sometimes incalculable. It's multiples. You're going to get so much, you're going to save so much money. Let me give you a feel for this. The average the average total medical costs for someone yearly that's been diagnosed with diabetes, which is 90% preventable at least, is anywhere from $2,600 to $20,000 a year when you include prescription drug costs, equipment costs, doctor's appointments, and then you add in reduced productivity because it's just a reality. You know, again, it's transcending every moment of your life. Your brain doesn't work quite as good as someone that doesn't have it. You don't have quite the same amount of injury as someone that doesn't have it. You can lose time from work because you're more likely to get sick, right? So, you know, being in poor health is extremely costly. It's extremely costly to your pocketbook. It's the top cause of personal bankruptcy is a medical issue. Hypertension, at least 50% of cases. I mean, I think, you know, almost 100% of cases are preventable. The cost of having the diagnosis of high blood pressure is anywhere from about $1,200 to $8,300 a year, right? So again, I'm just trying to make the point that any investment that you make to move the needle in your health pays you back in so many ways, some of which are, you know, you can't put a price on feeling great. You can't put a price on thinking great and having more energy, right? Okay. So normally, if you take the elements, it doesn't cost this, but let me tell you where this number comes from. If you take the elements that are included in this course, because all of these elements are standalone products that I have sold on my Healthy Living School platform, sold or offered, right? If you added up what I have charged for these things in the past, all the things that are included in here, it totals $4,600. So what we're going to charge for Zoom to Health this year is $1,600. In past years, it was $2,700 to $3,000. Last year was $3,000, and I filled the class. In addition to that steep discount, and why are we doing that? You know what? I know what this program does for people's health, and I want to include as many people as I can. And I just know that there are plenty of people that don't have $3,000 to spend. So I'm hoping that this steep reduction in price is really going to allow us to accommodate many more sort of people that are seeking healthy living. Okay. With that $1,600, you get lifetime access to all those courses. Lifetime access. They're never going away. You can always access them in the future. People that join Zoom to Health will also get free access to any and all live trainings I do over the year. And I typically do 4 to 5 live trainings a year. Live trainings typically cost $125 or thereabouts, right? And your spouses can take part for free. So we know, and I know from the work I've been doing a long time, that if we can get our loved ones to be involved in the process and on board, it, of course, for reasons that should be so obvious, it makes a massive difference. So I want your partners, spouses, husbands, wives to learn this too. And when I say they can take part for free, I mean they can watch the e-courses. They can even join the kitchen sessions. They don't get a separate login. They'll be logging in with you, but they are welcome to watch those, and you know, be there with you. You know, I can't have I don't want to have your spouse being the one asking the questions. They're just kind of a more of a silent observer, right? Because otherwise it just gets a little too problematic for me. Okay. And for people that desire, we will have a payment plan to make it a little softer over time. And if you run the numbers, that is equivalent to less than $4.50 a day. My husband just paid $4.75 in the airport 2 days ago for just a regular cup of coffee. There are many daily newspapers that cost more than that. And for people that are interested in taking the plunge with us, people that enroll, and enrollment is officially opening today, and it will be ongoing for another month, right? And you get content right away. In fact, one of my most favorite parts of the program is making sure on the front end, people know the science of healthy behavior change. And what that great science is now telling us is the best way to approach new habits, making changes in such a way that it becomes permanent and then it works. Scientists, believe it or not, have literally spent, and University of Michigan does the most work in this area. I mean, it's a big part, important part of science. They are studying people that have success and study people that fail. And it's like, okay, what is the difference for people that really move the needle permanently on their health? Like the people that, lose weight and keep it off, the people that get off, lower their blood pressure and reverse their diabetes or pre-diabetes. Like, how are they living? How did they do it? How did they approach it? We have that science. And then on the other side of the coin, what are the ways that people that tend to fail, how do they approach it? Right? So the secret to success is something that everyone that enrolls gets immediately, and I want them to watch it immediately because obviously it's very relevant to everything they're going to be doing over the course of the year. And for those of you that have taken the time, whether right now or on recording, because we had, I think, about 500 people sign up for this informational session. I think we have 100 on here now. You are going to get access to a bonus because you took the time to watch and listen to this point. And we are appreciative of your curiosity, of your interest, and your time. So you can enroll to if you, I gotta say it like this, if you enroll, right? But some people aren't going to watch this probably for 5 days. So it doesn't matter when they watch it, but those that watch and enroll are also going to get, in addition to immediate access to the healthy behavior change instruction, they're going to get free access to these live trainings of your choice. And so these are very popular live training recordings I've done: eating for longevity, anti-aging, how to eat to lower inflammation, how to eat to lower cholesterol. And so that is just a special gift we're giving you for those that are enrolling on the front end of this 1 month enrollment. Frequently asked questions: what if I can't attend some of the live sessions? It doesn't matter. I've already mentioned that we have never had everyone be able to attend. That would really be a pipe dream. And that's why we record all the sessions and make them available to people very quickly. It's usually within 24 hours that the recordings are available. I mentioned that I took that, just got my training done in facilitating breath work. And we had 12 to 2.5 hour educational sessions with our teacher. And there were a group of 12 of us were from all over the world. It was fascinating. Anyway, I could only attend probably 60% and had to watch the recordings for the other classes. So, that it's just the norm. I want to take part, but I don't want to share in a group. Is that okay? Yeah, totally fine. Participating, saying something, asking me something, even showing your face, whatever. All that's optional. I encourage that. I think that's something that can be very helpful, but it's certainly not required. How long do I have access to the course content? I already said you get lifetime access. And I'm not tech savvy. Is it complicated? It is very, very easy. It's so turnkey. It's incredibly intuitive, like most digital stuff is now. I mean, it kind of like is so obvious. And with the videos, everything is extremely organized, and we don't just dump all this content on you in one fell swoop. No, 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 no. We have a schedule, and it's like, okay, this is the content that you're tasked to hopefully watch and read about and think about over the next 2 weeks. And here's the next one, and then here, the term for that is we drip it out to you. We don't just throw it in your face, because that wouldn't work. And I kind of like people to be on the same page. Although in the live sessions, you can ask me anything you want, I very, very much want to be sure that with the assigned material to that point, you don't have questions related to it. Okay. And if someone occasionally has some sort of glitch, Zoe's always available to answer. And Zoe's my, operations manager. And you'll get to know Zoe if you enroll in this course. Zoe's always available to guide people. Can I join from my iPad or iPhone? Yes, you can. The platform I use has a great app. It's very simple. And again, a lot of people, I know for me, man, I love listening when I'm driving in the car to educational videos. I do that all the time. We love people to watch them. Of course, it's the best, but you can, listen as you drive, and you can use any device. What is your refund policy? There's no refund for this. The reason is because I know the value, and we want people that are not half-hearted. We want people that are committed to doing the work. Okay, or embarking on the journey and learning, right? A few other things that are important to note in terms of, even in a way, why I went to the links of even having this informational session. This may be the last opportunity to join Zoom to Health. That's not ground in stone, but I'm at a very wonderful stage of my life. I now have 3 grandchildren. I think I'm going to have many more coming, and it's a big part of my life. And I also have lots of other things that I'm working on and do. I'm not, by no means am I walking away from the wonderful world of wellness, but I can just feel that my priorities are beginning to shift. And this will be the lowest price offered for people that don't join in the next open season of the next 1 month. Then the price would go back up to last year's price, which is the $3,000. And then for those on here that may not really know much about my personal story, so I'm someone that knew by the age of 4 that I wanted to go into health and medicine. I come from a very, very steep and rich tradition of medicine. I'm actually a 6th generation physician. There have been, if you consider my mother's side, my father's side, all the way back and all the way forward, and then even my husband's niece, nephews, then there are 23 that have graduated been to the medical school that I went to, 23. And I did finish at the top of my class just because I love the science of healthy living and health and physiology and biochemistry and all of it. And I always thought I was going to go into academic dermatology. I mean, I love teaching. I am an intellectual. I love learning. I love that highly stimulating intellectual environment. And I worked very hard to become a dermatologist because it's extremely competitive. I worked very hard to position myself for that journey. And I'm not going to tell you, the details of the story, but something happened that shifted me. And I landed in primary care and actually fell in love with it. But by forces beyond my control, I landed in primary care, bread and butter, seeing every age, every kind of illness, primary care medicine. Fell in love with it. And as I evolved in my clinical practice, which I was completely devoted to, right? Like if you had told me 8 years into my clinical practice that I would leave it, I would have said, there is not a chance, not even a threat of a chance. Well, lo and behold, as I crept forward, about, maybe 12, 13, particularly the 12th year, 13th year, 14th year, I could feel that I was being called to bigger, even bigger things. I was seeing that most everything I saw in my office, and I'm an empath, so I could feel the pain and the misery of these patients. I have that to a fault. And I thought, I knew because the science has started to come out that most everything I was seeing was preventable through diet and lifestyle. And I frankly realized it was immoral for me to continue to do what I was doing. In fact, I don't know how, what it is most doctors don't know the science. It's not their fault. They're victims of a very, very flawed system. But I knew it. I got my undergraduate degree in nutrition. I kept up with it. I was always obsessed with that topic. That's why I did so good in college, that got me into medical school, because I studied what I love. And I said, I can't in good conscience keep doing what I'm doing, because people don't have to be getting this. And I was trying to bring in the diet and lifestyle into my clinical work, and it didn't have time. You have 10 minutes per patient. It was just a nightmare. I was about to pull my hair out, and finally just said, people thought I was a nutcase. I said, I'm leaving this and I'm devoting myself to wellness. I had no idea where it would take me. What a journey it has been. And so I just started putting lines out everywhere I could. It's like, I have the message. I'm going to put it out every way I can. I started speaking. I've written books, and I started speaking really quickly. And I've delivered hundreds of keynotes, almost in every state. Love doing that. And which is why I love being in front of the camera and teaching people what to do, because I did so much of that kind of work on the stage. I've written the books, and my Healthy Living School really is now the heart and soul of my work. And we opened that at the very end of 2017. We have over 10,000 students that have taken part in this online platform, and I've got all kind of courses on here, many of which you're getting as part of Zoom to Health. And just a couple more, real people with real results. Mary Bowen. When I changed my diet, I immediately started feeling so much better. I'm able to work cleaning homes and church educational buildings for others again. So I'm very active and love my brisk walks. I have 7 pounds to go for my ideal weight, and have gone from a size 12 and 14 to 6 and 8. Everyone wants to know how I did it. I tell them to Google Dr. Ann. She can change her life for the better, no matter the situation. Big news, just got my lab results back last Monday for my cholesterol. It was 259, now 195. I'm 63, and I feel like my 30s again. So hooray for Mary. And I thought I could show you what I do is every now and then I need a big shot of inspiration. And so I have permanently created a file right in my, email inbox, where I can quickly go look at testimonials I receive from people. So this is a sample. This is just a sample of my most favorite testimonials. And you're going to see, and these are just ones I've collected for the last 3.5 years. You're going to see, and you have to realize most people don't take the time to write, right? But they just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And I just will pick one out and read it, and I'm like, okay, that's all the motivation I need to keep doing the work, Anyway, so I'm all about keeping it simple. People, I always tell people, if you think I'm smart, I'm really not. I have a brain that it cannot understand things unless it's really, really simplified. And so I do always keep it simple. And, my core values are my faith, my spirituality, which to me is the ultimate source of joy and grace and peace and love, which is the essence of our lives, family, feeling great, in other words, health, and then sharing that with others. And this is my latest grandchild, baby Betty, saying, "You can do it." Anyway, so thank you so much for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions that may have come up related to anything about the course. And as I said, enrollment opens today. It will be open for another month. And if you enroll today, you do get access to that live training of your choice, and it'll be self-explanatory how all that works, and you get material even today. Okay, all right. Well, thank you all so much for being here, and we hope to see you soon. All right, take care.